pioneers of the Singapore Armed Forces, past and present servicemen and servicewomen of the SAF, fellow Singaporeans. I'm very happy to be here, back on the parade square of Pasir Laba camp. This was the original site of SAF50 from 1966 to 1996, where the SAF trained its leaders. And it holds many memories for us, especially all the SAF pioneers who are here, but also the rest of us. Parades, drills, extra drills, and commemorations. The last time I was here on this parade square was 10 years ago for the 40th anniversary of the SAF. Doesn't seem so long ago, but I suppose we've grown a little bit older since then. And I'm very happy tonight to be back here and connecting with many old friends and comrades. Just in the few minutes before we came in, I've met a complete chain of command, people who have commanded me. A company commander, Muhammad Iqbal, Juliet Company School of Infantry Section leaders. I had a battalion commander, Ng Jui Ping, then Major, School of Artillery. I met my old brigade commander, Syed Hashim Al-Joffrey, Lieutenant Colonel, 3SIB. I met my old chief, Chandri K, Chief of RT. And I met my old CDF, General Winston Chu. He's with me tonight. We salute all of them. Singapore has enjoyed 50 years of peace. It's partly because the regional environment has been stable. The Americans have played a benign, stabilizing role in the region. Other countries have not been at war. But we have also enjoyed peace because we have a strong SAF, because our ability and our resolve to defend ourselves was never in doubt. And therefore, people took us seriously, respected us, and therefore, we could be friends and partners with our neighbors. And for this, we have to thank all our national servicemen, the pioneers, the regulars, the NS-men. The pioneers who answered the call of duty to defend Singapore, who served in the Singapore Volunteer Corps and the Vigilante Corps, which later became the PDF. The pioneers in 1SR and 2SR, before we separated from Malaysia and became independent. Those were early days, dangerous times. Confrontasi was a live battle. There were skirmishes in our neighborhood. We saw active service. But our pioneers kept us safe, and they trained the first batches of our NS-men. People like Senior Warrant Officer William Wee, who was then in the Singapore Naval Volunteer Force, on the front lines during Confrontasi, patrolling the coastline. And he said, we didn't have time to worry about anything. We couldn't. If you are scared to die, then why are you in uniform? Or Captain Shamsuddin, the king of the parade square, this one especially. Who's with us this evening. He joined the volunteer corps And after we split from Malaysia and we had to organize our first National Day parade in 1966, he had to put together the marching contingent in just 50 days. And he drilled the troops again and again, so that on the 9th of August, 1966, as they marched past the City Hall, they marched past smartly, and we cheered them with pride. And he's going to be the oldest participant at the Vintage Parade on the 9th of August, 2015, this year. So it was that pioneer spirit which started off on this journey. We thank them. We thank our regulars who made the SAF their careers, their lives, and formed the core of the SAF, who enabled the NS men to build up their skills, to become not just competent soldiers, but capable formations, platoons, companies, battalions, brigades, divisions, or squadrons, and built the SAF into a professional and a formidable fighting force. I must especially mention the first batch of officers who trained in OCS, and they were truly one of a kind. In fact, when they wrote a book about their history, they titled it One of a Kind. And it was a very vivid account of their experiences, and I'm very glad that they have published and republished the book, One of a Kind, for this anniversary, SG50, and I think DPMTO launched it a few months ago. So I was very happy to meet many of them, the regulars and the first batch, at the SAF Day Parade at SAF50 MI earlier this month. One of them was Tim D'Souza. He was one of our first fighter pilots. We sent him overseas to train in Britain. He flew the Hawker Hunters, and he was a pioneering member of the first Black Knights. He was there when we started the Air Force and saw how rapidly it was built up. In fact, he helped to build it up. So I think on National Day, when he watches the aeroplanes zoom past, I hope it will bring back many fond memories. I'd like to thank the many generations of national servicemen who sweated it out, trained hard, served full-time national service, and served in the operational reserve national service, operationally ready national service. And especially the early batches who started the ball rolling when we implemented NS in 1967. The training was tough, the conditions were often far from ideal, but they took it in their stride. They told their family and friends when they went home, it was a hard life, but a good life. I just met one of them this morning. I went down to Bukit Merah Market for a visit. Somebody tall and erect welcomed me. He said, "Men of Steel." I said, "RT NCO." He said, "Yes, first batch. We man-packed the mortars from Taman Jurong all the way up to Pasir." And he looked like he could still do it. So, batch by batch, the NS men sweated it out and went, as the phrase goes, from boys to men. I'd also like to thank all the Singaporeans who have supported the SAF and supported our system. Parents who sent their sons and daughters to serve the nation. Families of our regulars and of our NS men. People who come back to see their sons get passed out, commissioned, pinned on wings or berets, and remember and say, "I did that too." People like the parents and the godparents of Colonel Muhammad Nizam bin Yahya, who was the parade commander at the SAF Day Parade this year. I met him, he introduced his parents and godparents, and they were so proud of him when they spoke of him and took pictures with us together. So too the population at large, who support and take pride in our soldiers and the SAF. So tonight, I'm happy that we have several two-generation families present here. Senior Warrant Officer Jennifer Tan, currently Division Sergeant Major of 2 PDF, who was our first female National Day Parade RSM, and she has 3 sons, and all of them have joined the Army as regulars, and they are all in the armor formation. We have Brigadier General Wong Huat Sen, who was Chief of Staff in the Air Force, and he's here with his father, Lieutenant Colonel Wong Gak Sim, who was a pioneer Army regular in the SAF and the ammunition base. He was a logistics officer. And I'm sure the 2 of them, grandfather and father, will have lots of advice to give to Huat Sen's son, who will be enlisting in 3 years' time. I'd also like to thank our partners who have helped us to build the SAF, the close partners of the SAF, SID, DSTA, DSO, even Singapore Technologies. Because together you've helped keep Singapore safe and secure and helped to build the SAF to become a credible force. I think I'd also like to thank our overseas partners who have been generous with their training areas, with combined exercises, with training courses and advice and experience. The SAF could not have made this journey alone. We have defense partnerships and agreements that we have signed with many partners all over the world. So today we have servicemen in America, in Australia, in New Zealand, in Brunei, in Thailand, in India, in France, sometimes in Germany too. And I'm sure all of us look forward to their training overseas. All of us look forward to coming back, to meeting together, to trading war stories about the good old days in uniform over dinner. So to commemorate these stories and celebrate this journey, I'm glad we'll be launching this book, Giving Strength to Our Nation, the SAF and its People. It collects some of the stories which reminds us of the SAF's contributions in domestic crisis, be it in floods, be it during the cable car incident back in 1983, be it in Hotel New World disaster, or the SQ-117 hijack, or SARS, or the haze just 2 years ago. There was one story in the book contributed by Senior Warrant Officer Silvanathan. He was the winchman who winched down from the helicopter to rescue the trapped passengers from the cable cars after we decided to send in the helicopters as the way to rescue the passengers who were stuck when the cable cars were trapped on the wire that January night in 1983. He winched down, strong winds calmed the passengers, some children, strapped them up, took them out, winched them up to the helicopter, went down again. There were 2 helicopters. He took one of them, and altogether we brought out 13 people, stranded in the darkness, probably terrified. After 30 years, we met again just now. It was a very good feeling. We also have many friends overseas whom I think we should remember tonight. People we have helped when we went on Ops Flying Eagle during the tsunami in Indonesia. People we remember on Interfet in East Timor when we went on a UN mission. people we worked with searching for the Air Asia aircraft just a few months ago. Civilians caught in the floods in Kelantan, people suffering from forest fires in northern Thailand, or further afield in Afghanistan, Bamiyan, Iraq, in Nepal, or in the Gulf of Aden. So we've had many, many experiences. We have been lucky we have not gone to war. But short of war, we've seen many operations and we've had many successes. And this year we had one special mission, Operation White Light, the state funeral for Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. The SAF poured your heart and soul into this. You executed it outstandingly well, and you did Singapore proud. Thank you all for all that you have done, SAF, over the past 50 years. I hope the next 50 years will be as peaceful as the last 50. But 50 years is a very long time. Nobody can be sure there won't be tensions or conflicts in Asia. And if there's trouble, we cannot depend on being lucky enough to avoid problems. So we must be ready to defend ourselves if any troubles come our way. And the last 50 years have taught us that come what may, we will always need a strong SAF. Therefore, the SAF needs to keep itself up to date with the latest technology, to adapt, find new ways to fight smarter and more effectively. 3G SAF, 4G SAF, 5, 6, 7G SAF. But most of all, it needs the support of the soldiers, the sailors, of airmen, and also of all the Singaporeans. And Singaporeans will only support the SAF if we are all, in the first place, proud to be Singaporeans. And to be proud of being Singaporeans, this has to be an outstanding country, one which we all have a stake in, one which we've all helped to build, and one which we will defend, as the SAF pledge says, with our lives. So we expect full commitment from all the SAF servicemen, NS-men willing to serve the nation, always ready to do their duty, regulars who take pride in their uniform, because being a soldier is not just a job, but a calling, and a new generation with a pioneer spirit. I think the first generation of pioneers will be long retired, but their spirit must live on in all of us. And their values, the values of courage, of self-sacrifice, of service to the nation, must be handed down from generation to generation. Last year, the SAF held its first integrated military parade. One unit going into the MINDEF reserves, one unit and passing out from recruit training. We witnessed a symbolic moment. Corporal Lee Hong Chen represented his 600-strong battalion, which had completed its ORNS cycle and was standing down for the last time. And Corporal Lee represented the battalion. He held the state flag and he handed it over to recruit Marcus Chin, who was his nephew. And recruit Marcus Chin represented a new batch of BMT soldiers who had just been called up and were just starting their national service. Passing the torch. So one officer from Corporal Lee's battalion said it was the first time he saw many of his men cry. Why? Because handing over the state flag, it was no more than just an MR parade. It stood for handing over the sacred duty to defend Singapore. And the SAF must continue to have that spirit and to hand it down from generation to generation. Then we'll always be secure. Then all of us and our families can sleep easily at night. So as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the SAF, I salute all the past and current leaders of the SAF, the men and the women of Singapore who have contributed through your service and to support our nation. Thank you. Thank you for being soldiers. Thank you for guarding and keeping Singapore safe. Thank you very much.